I'm a proud, unvaccinated Trump supporter. Two of my siblings have not spoken to me in a decade. Should I cut them out of my $7 million estate? I think it's pathetic to isolate a family member for those reasons, but that is a choice they have made. All right. My wife and I were unable to have children. We both have successful careers. We retired just before COVID-19 crisis. I have not spoken with or heard from my two siblings and their children in the last 10 years. We own several rental properties that generate a solid income, and we live pretty frugal lifestyles. Our estate is valued in the neighborhood of $7 million. We have a total of 6 siblings, and my family trust currently divides our estate equally between them all, regardless of the number of children. My issue is that both of my siblings are no longer on speaking terms with me due to my political beliefs. I'm a Trump supporter, and my decision not to get vaxxed. I have not spoken or heard with my nieces and nephews in the last 10 years. I think it's pathetic to isolate a family member for those reasons, but that's a choice that they made. When I die, I don't want my siblings and their children to enjoy inheriting several million dollars from me. I feel closer to some of the nieces and nephews on my wife's side than some of her other nieces and nephews. I'm considering leaving my half of our estate to just 2 of her nieces. This has created some family friction that concerns me. What would your advice be?
I mean, it's your estate. You do whatever you want with it. Like I don't really got no, crazy feelings about that. Like, don't leave money to people you don't like. Like, it's kind of, you know what I mean? Like, it's your money. Once it's yours, you do whatever you want with it.
That's like very simple advice. Don't leave money to people you don't like.
Like, I mean, because to me it sounds simple. Like, you don't like these people, they don't like you. Don't leave them no money. Leave the money to somebody you like.
But here's the thing, though, right? And the reason I brought this up is because I know that a lot of people have issues. Like, a lot of us have been separated through politics over the last several years. It is what it is, right? It just is what it is because social media has given us a place to show where we are politically. I've seen it's funny. The funniest part to me is watching this in sports, right? Because I was thinking about this. They're athletes now that you know where they stand politically, and people feel one way or another about them. And I was thinking about the great athletes when I was a kid. I had no idea what their political beliefs were, right? But times have changed. So that's the one part. The second part is on the internet, especially, and it's the buzzword generational wealth, right? And people are talking and thinking about it, or at least acting as they are. So a lot of us are building wealth with the idea of leaving it to the next generation. But what happens when you work your tail off to have this generational wealth, but the next generation of your family ain't worth a damn? Not saying they're not, just saying that, what do you do in that situation, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I know, I mean, there's
like, you're brilliant. Like your kids are brilliant, so you ain't got to know what. Like your situation is
different. That might be true now while I'm alive, but I have no idea how they're going to act.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. But my question is
how they're going to act. So you can partially control that. You know what I mean? By setting up your trust in your will the correct way, it'll feed generations. It won't just feed the next generation. It'll feed multiple generations. But the thing about that is, that means you don't trust your kids. And I don't trust anybody because I'm not going to be here. So I'm going to leave the trust in into the person who built it. And I'm going to, you know what I mean? I'm going to put the trust in the person who built it, which is me. So I'm going to set it up to where it'll feed multiple generations.
Yeah. So my question is, I'm still asking the same question. I understand what you're saying. You're trying to control it. But what happens if the people you're trying to control it, even as you disperse it to them, they're just not either what you want them to be, or, you have, let's say you have a strange family, your kids. See, it's hard for you to answer this question because you don't have this. Neither do I, but I'm just thinking it through. What do you do with that, though? What do you do with that?
Well, I have a stipulation in my current trust.
I know you do. I find it hilarious. I'm not going to share it with them. You can share it with the audience if you want to.
If they marry anything outside of black, then they're cut out.
He's not lying either.
Because the current stipulation inside my account. Because I'm not building this shit up for someone else.
I wasn't going to share it. You share it. You want to?
I'm just saying. If they marry outside of black, they are cut out. Period. So take that for what you want to take it for. I mean, your opinion of me about
listen. It's fine. It's fine. That shit. Listen again. Like who just said it? Someone just said it. And someone just said it on here. Yeah, Passer. Your money, your plan. If that's part of your plan, that's part of your plan. I ain't mad at you. I always found it funny. Me and you laugh about this several times.
Yeah,
Because
I'm just
it
saying.
was
That's
funny because
just
when I see your son, I always joke with him like, you better let, I always joke with your son about that.
I say, listen, you have life choices and you're able to do that, and I'll accept, whatever you do as far as that. But with my money, you're not doing that with my money. You can do it with your money, and whatever you want to do in your life is great. I'm not going, I'm not disowning my kids. I'm not doing any of that crazy stuff. But what I
Hey,
won't do is leave my legacy to you if you do that. I'm not doing that. I don't
your
have
money,
to, and I am
hey,
not, and I will not.
in the words of the great Pastor Eubanks, your money, your plan.
Yeah, I'm
Pastor
not
Eubanks
doing
also says you can't regulate behavior. You can only moderate through ignorance, misinformation, and fear. This is absolutely true. You want to get them folks some of the estate. If he really ain't rock with them, he would have been cut him off. Yeah. Toya says, your money. Say it with your chest. Write him out and be great. Do what you want to do. He just saw his siblings cut him off, and he probably wanted an apology and some time to chop it up. GC, I was thinking that too, right? You've built a $7 million estate. They cut you off because of your political beliefs, and you're still thinking about them.
They don't care about you. They don't care nothing about your money or
they
nothing.
haven't talked to you in 10 years. So it's like, but the thing is, this is also proof right now. Just throw this out there. He's probably one of those folks, and I don't know him, I'm just reading the story, that think that because he has this money, they should bow down to him, right? Because a lot of people who have resources, a lot of people that have resources, when they meet someone that doesn't move them, they don't know how to respond to that. Because so many of us are caught up in money, and so many of us make moves, sometimes even foul moves for money, that when someone with money who's used to that meets someone who doesn't care about that, they don't know how to respond to that. And that's why I thought about that, GC, as I read this article. I'm like, his family probably don't even care about his money, and he doesn't understand how to respond to that. Like, I got 7 million. What you mean you don't want to talk to me? Corey, I'm pretty sure you met people like that, like who got money and who
people, right now. I know people in my family who got $150. And like, yo, you don't want to talk to me? Like,
no, I'm talking about people that have money, and when that money doesn't
I know people who got rural, like that happens to me all the time because people think that I'm motivated by money, and I am motivated by money when it comes to my family. But what I'm not motivated to do is anything that I don't want to do by money. Like nothing that I don't want to do, money is not going to make the difference between me doing it and not doing it.
But sometimes people don't know how to deal with that.
Oh yeah, I get cussed out all the time
because they're so used to people being moved.
I had a mentor. I had a former mentor who thought that because they had a bunch of money that they could say and do anything they want just because they had a bunch of money. And I'm like, man, if you don't get the out of that, boy, like I don't play that. Like, yeah. You can't just say and do anything to me just because you got a bunch of money. I don't care what you teaching me. I don't care what the circumstances are. Man first. Address the man before you start addressing anything else. Like if you don't address me in a human, man person kind of way, I don't got nothing to talk to you about. I don't care how much money you got. Like yes, because I know money is available. Like it's money out here in the world. So if you don't want to deal with me and address me about money, it's 10 million ways to get a couple dollars. Like I don't need your money because the world is full of it.
No, absolutely true. But I thought about that, GC. That's a great point. Because I thought about he probably don't know how to act because he probably feel like I got this 7 million. They need to bow down.